Great evening on this synchronistically and numerically riddled day, on this second day of the second month of the 22nd year of the second millennium. That's right? 2022. It's a great day. I'm not gonna say it started bad, but there was some bad and a lot of good. We're alive. We're healthy. We refined our personal statement for our master's program. We will not be doing our master's in Newark. We will not be staying in New Jersey. We will be looking forward to doing our master's in Florida. So I'll probably be living in Florida during the college months, during the active semesters, and then during the off seasons I'll be coming back up to Jersey. You know, I might be looking at some real estate ideas as it relates to, like, you know, this apartment, because I don't feel like giving up this apartment. I just love the view. You know, I'm able to wake up in the morning with the sun on the East Coast. You know, my view at night is impeccable. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. But yeah, man, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is my view every night. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's like, you know, that right there, that's a Statue of Liberty. And as we look over there, you got the one tower. Sunrise is always around that area right there. Later on, around summer, it'll probably be coming up around that time, around that side. But yeah, man. So, yo, Shot Glass 1914. Happy 2/22/2022. Yo, that's 6 2s right there. Is it? No, that's 5. 5, which makes for, what is that? 10? No, it is 6 plus the 20. It is 6, so it makes for 12. So today's like a 3. Today's life path is a 3. Haven't been wearing my gems. Took them off for like the past few days and stuff. You know, I got a shape up last week, and the things were kind of irritating my neck, so I had to take it off. And it's crazy. Like, I don't give it no mind. You know, I got. Yo, that's how we gotta live, bro. You don't know, in my mind, I'm in the 120th floor. Come on, bro. You know how it is, man. It's all mindset, man. Mindset. The mindset is what's gonna create the attitude. You know what I'm saying? That will allow us to hone in on the skill sets and to cultivate them to such a level of excellence that we are able to provide the greatest possible value, you know what I'm saying, in doing the works that, you know, life, i.e. God, has bred us, you know, birth us like a tree births fruits, to be able to bring that juiciness and that value and that satisfaction and joy to society, to humanity. You know what I'm saying? So that's all it is, man. That's all it is. Life is a beautiful, it's a conundrum of esoterica, as I once heard in one show, as I usually say. You know, life is a conundrum of esoterica. It's a gaggle fuck of unexpected happenings. So Yeah, yo, check it. Some of the things that I wanted to talk about is this one quote, and it relates as to what is it, Jordan Belfort said in The Wolf of Wall Street. He said there is no nobility in poverty. And then there's another one that goes, poverty is the root of all evil. You know, religious bullshit, right? These institutions that have been set up to galvanize the spiritual energy of humanity in a negative fashion by enslaving us to idol worships and to idolization. They tend to tell us that money is the root of evil, but money is not the root of evil. The love of money is. But poverty is truly the root of all evil. Because only those that are impoverished, truly impoverished, be it monetarily, mentally, or spiritually, fall prey to those lower vices, to those lower ways that cause them to act in ways that are detrimental to their spiritual self and likely detrimental to the environment in which they live, right? Depending on the type of poverty, it may lead individuals to drug addictions. Like we look at America, a lot of the individuals that are homeless and that are addicted to drugs living in the streets in our country, in the various cities of this great nation, they started, they had homes, they likely had family, they likely had children, but the hardships that this society brought upon them, it was so psychologically stressful, and to them it seemed as though there was no end in sight to the struggle, that they figured getting a fix for a second would fix some of the physical strains that were producing mental stressors, that were producing the anxious and depressive feelings in their body, that induced them and drove them to seek out these escapes through the various means and ways that this corporate pharmaceutically driven Western construct that we live in provides, right? So many different escapes, right? From the wines and spirits that are offered at every corner in every city in America, in every convenience store, right? To the food-like product fixes, that destroy our physiology, right? That weaken our immune systems, to the entertainment, fixes that sedate us and cause us to loathe in our slothfulness and our inaction, and to just live this wasteful and destructive life. So, poverty is the root of all evil. Poverty is the true root of all evil. Money, as the good book says, Ecclesiastes, I think it's 10:19. Money answereth all things. If you want to be able to throw a feast of laughter and provide the wines that will pacify the pains of the soul, money answers those things. If you want to bring water to a village, light and energy to a community, money answers those things. Money is but an expression of appreciation, as I once heard and I have continued to repeat. Money is but an expression of appreciation. Money is is only an amplifier for what we already are. If we are a greedy, selfish, good for nothing individual that seeks to take advantage of others, because he has no morals, no ethics, and no core values, then money is simply going to amplify that, worthless, meek, weak behavior. But if you are an individual of qualities and of, faculties and of morals and ethics and core values, then money is going to amplify your ability to be of value to, more people, and to more positively impact your lives and the life of those that, are affected by your sphere of influence, whom you can impact through your sphere of influence. And depending on the amount of money and the amount of status and the level to which you rise in society, that will also determine how large, how vast your sphere of influence can be, right? Like someone like Drake, Kanye West, Joe Rogan, their sphere of influence is vast compared to some insignificant nobody living in the streets, addicted to drugs. So, our sphere of influence is going to be different depending on the level of status, monetary value, and, intellectual or artistic or craft like value that we bring to society. Everything about a man, as I, put on a post, and which, the great, I got to give credit to those individuals so that, you guys can go out and research these individuals that I'm learning from for yourself. Yesterday and today I woke up and the first individual that popped up on my YouTube to listen to was the great Earl Nightingale, and something that Earl Nightingale said was that everything about a man that is a man is his mind. Everything else can be found in a pig, right? And as I was reading also Marcus Garvey's book, I bought 2 of them just to, learn up on that individual. He said, the only thing that is like God, that is made in the likeness of God, something like that, right? He said, our mind is what is made in the likeness of God. Everything else is the same. Like, a human being's DNA, I think it's like the DNA of a human and of a banana are about 89% similar. 89%, almost the same. You get what I'm saying? But plants don't have the biology. They're just consciousness at its. It's like this. Like I saw something once about 4 or 5 years ago, and it just continuously has evolved my consciousness since then. It's like consciousness, i.e., the source of all life, right? The source of existence. Consciousness manifests in 4 different ways on the physical plane, right? Consciousness is what travels faster than the speed of light, and this is something that also Nikola Tesla discovered, and this is something that quantum mechanics and quantum physics is identifying today, right? 2020 in the now, right? Consciousness manifests on 4 different planes on the physical, right? It sleeps in minerals. It is at its base. Consciousness is at its base form in minerals. That's why we humans can grab minerals and through our unique talents and abilities for, you know, our mankind's ability to mold reality to its benefit, we can grab the minerals and turn them into something that is useful for us. Computers, right? Literally rocks and petroleum, fossil fuel that we bring from the earth, and we synthesize it and we turn it into rubbers, and, you know, sands that we burn and turn it into glass and mirrors, and, you know, and rocks that we, you know, copper and iron that we use to transmute electricity, and diamonds that we use to reflect light. Like right now we're using a rock. You know, on the other side of this black mirror, right? Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the greatest of them all? Me. Right? Through this black mirror that we're using to communicate, you're viewing me and I'm relaying this information, right? So consciousness at the base form, we humans can mold it to our benefit, right? We can make cars and so on. Consciousness sleeps in minerals. It dreams in plants. That's why plants provide us with the nutrients, and some plants can provide us with the psychoactive, you know, benefits and powers to perceive reality on a different way, and on a different wavelength as well, right? So, you know, you got psychedelics like mushrooms, Mary Jane, marijuana. You know, we have the man-made psychedelic like LSD, right? And then we have other other plants that are amphetamines, and, you know, that produce other things like, you know, cocaine and heroin, and, you know, all these other things, nicotine. Consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants. That's why mangoes taste like the sweetest lips, being the oral or the, you know, of those beautiful feminine manifestations that we call women, right? It wakes up in animals. Consciousness wakes up in animals, in the flesh, right? It wakes up, it moves around, but it can't think. It can't meditate on the what's the word that I'm looking for? On the mortality of its existence, right? You can't threaten an animal with death. You can't threaten an animal with something that's in the future. So consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants. It wakes up in animals, and it asks questions in human beings. It becomes self-conscious of the fact that it is a living, breathing organism that has capacities different to that of its animals, its animal brethren or cousins, its fellow earthlings, right? And that is just that, right? The all is mental. Exactly, my brother CL. As the Kabbalion explains, the all is mental, right? Or spirit. One book that I read says that spirit is but energy. Is another way of saying energy, right? Spirit is energy. Energy is chi in Chinese, ki in Japanese, prana in Vedic, and, you know, keeps going. So it's not our body shaped in the image of God, but our spirit, our mind, or consciousness, whatever we want to call it. Exactly. Semantics. Right? The good book, the Bible says, in the beginning, out of that which is unseen, all that is seen was created. And so it is with us, mankind, that it is through our mind, through that which is made in the image of the Most High, in the image of consciousness, that which is, you know, a mediator, our brain being the antenna, we create things out of that which is unseen in our imagination. No, the all is consciousness. It's just consciousness. Consciousness and energy becomes materialized, but consciousness is just always present. But energy becomes materializes, and yes, it changes. And so, as as you illuminated in that the book, The Kabbalion, which is the first book that made me that from which I learned about the difference in genders, right? That in the masculine there is the feminine, and in the feminine there is the masculine, and that there are only two genders, the masculine and the feminine, and that the masculine is logical, reasonable, and is linear, whereas the feminine is imaginative, is circular, and it is creative, right? One is considered negative, the other one is considered positive. The negative, destructive, the positive is creative. But they both need each other in order to exist. Without one, with both of these in out of balance, then our ability to do something truly productive and meaningful in life and to live a life of meaning becomes nearly impossible. Even in the man, if there is no presence of a balance in the feminine energy, this individual is going to lack the capacity to truly express himself with his woman and with the children and other individuals in his life. The all created male and female, but it is up to each and every one of us to become a man and a woman. And in today's society, we just look with all this colorful shit going on, right? There's many excuses as to not be a man, as to not become a man. There's so many excuses, right? And the same thing is for our ladies. There's many excuses telling them that they should be competing with the opposite sex rather than competing for the opposite sex. And sadly, a lot of them are going to live a very lonely and miserable life because they don't see the value in competing for a man. They see more value in competing with a man. And so, it leads us to the next subject, right? Which is that a woman cannot tell a boy how to become a man or what a man behaves like. Is impossible. You get what I'm saying? They can give suggestions, but they don't know because they're not men. They're not male. They're females. They're generally, the majority of them, 99% of the times, ruled by emotion, not logic or reason. So most of their suggestions and advice is going to come from an emotional lens, not from a logical and reasonable lens, which most of the time, if we're dealing with emotional problems in our lives, we need logic and reason, knowledge, not feelings. We need facts. We need the truth, not an opinion. And this is what's going on in our society today. We're ruled more by opinions than by truths. Feelings over facts. Subjective truth, my truth, as opposed to the objective reality that is the truth, right? And we can see that, plainly reflected in the violence that riddles our society and, the suicides in men, the violence in the streets, why men, are more addicted to drugs, fill up the prisons more, and are so destructive. And it's because the majority don't have proper male guidance in their lives. Very few men. A lot of like men, a lot of less than men, but very few men. And so it's up to each and every one of us today that have the eyes to see and the ears to hear to, do our due diligence in becoming men, complete, to the best of our ability, to the best of our capacity. And to not allow whatever negative vices and inclinations within us which are not conducive to that which is a man to ever spill out. Jesus said the body of man is the temple of God. But I will also tell you, this is also the prison of the devil and many devils, many demons, many vices. So we must, take accountability for these vices, these demons, and never allow them to spill out. They must always remain in check, checked by us, by our morals, our ethics, our core values, discipline, right action. If you gotta go run up in a cave and live there for years, do that. Than to let your vices, spill out into society and to, be of a detriment to somebody else. Yo, the only reason I'm not the fuck up that I had the potential to become is because at about 18 years old, I had a freaking epiphany, man. Like, I saw myself in a very negative place. It was like, boom, this is what can happen in the next 5 to 10 years. And I was like, oh, fuck that. And within a year of that, I was stepping on yellow footprints on Marine Corps Recruit Depot in Paris Island, right? And for the next 5 years, that's what I did. I realized that moment that I had that epiphany, I was like, I'm lacking in discipline and I need discipline and I don't know where to get it. And as I think right now of where to find it in my environment, in my neighborhood, there's nowhere. There's nowhere where I can, there's no time, what is it that Goku jumps into? There's no time capsule. There's no place where I can literally go and just sit and develop myself there where I'm at right now. And so I was like, the best option is to go into the military. Okay, I may die, I may get shot, something may happen, but that's better than the other side of the coin. And so I risked that, man. And then, here I am, literally like 13, 14, almost 14 years from making that choice. Literally almost 14 years from making that choice. And it's like, thank God I listened to my subconscious when it directed me to go in that direction. God, the universe, sometimes is going to direct you to submit to somebody else, to another man, right? For direction, for guidance. But then eventually it's also going to direct you to submit to it. Because there's only so much that man can provide us. Once they provide us the value that they can provide us, then it's going to be up to us to go and, start walking for ourselves. There's only so much that the master can teach before the student now becomes the master and is now to walk on its own individual path. There was only so much that Bruce Lee can learn from the masters before he was, a master himself and created his own path. And so it is going to be the same for each and every one of us. Life is not as complicated as we think it is. we just overcomplicate it. We try to fill it with too many things to do. We try to do everything in one day, not understanding that we only get one life to live, but we live it every day. And if we live it right, we will not put ourselves in, predicaments which can, produce a short life. If we are very mindful, if we are patient, if we act with integrity, if we move with confidence and courage through life, we can live a very long life. Like, I truly believe that. If we do the right thing, especially when nobody is watching, and more often than we do the negative, if we invest enough positive karma into life, we can reap, the rewards of that. I believe that when people, die too early, and, some people, they can be like, oh, but so-and-so was such a good individual. Are you sure? Or is that just what he was showing you, or she was showing you? Do you know what they were doing behind closed doors? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you know what kind of laws, what kind of universal laws they were violating within themselves or towards others? Like, you can only fuck up so much before the universe says it's time to pay. Like I said, I stopped smoking weed for a reason. Like, I was telling my sister yesterday, I was like, yo, listen, I don't have to work if I don't want to work. Like, I've made moves over the last 14 years that I could live. I probably wouldn't live with the luxuries that I believe I deserve and that I can create for myself and for my family. But I could say, fuck family, fuck society, fuck the world, fuck what God wants from me, fuck that shit. That's too fucking much. I'm not fucking doing it. I could say that. And a lot of people fucking say that, man. They say fuck God, fuck family, fuck everything. I'm gonna do what the fuck I want. I'm gonna do what the fuck I feel like. And then they wonder why they don't get what the fuck they want and they don't get to feel how they want to fucking feel. I've made moves in the last 14 years that I don't have to do shit. I could be a fucking piece of shit the rest of my fucking life. But that ain't fucking life. That's not fucking living, man. I believe in living on purpose, for a purpose, with a fucking purpose, no matter how much I fuck up. I fuck up and I go back to doing what the fuck I gotta do. Like, I wake up knowing that I'm a fuck up, and before I fuck up, I'm doing the right shit, and then I'm like, fuck, and then fuck up, and then go back to doing the right shit again. Like, but I don't, it's just like, some people, they're like, oh, I messed up. And then they go on this whole binge for a week, for months, for years. And then it gets harder. The longer you go fucking up, the harder it gets. But like I said, when I stopped smoking, I didn't stop smoking because I didn't like smoking. I didn't stop smoking because I couldn't afford weed. I had a fucking fridge full of pounds. I have access to it. Not just to that, but to many other drugs that I used to like, that I enjoyed doing, but that does not fulfill. You can only like do so many immediately gratifying things before you realize, damn, this shit is not fulfilling. The more I smoke, I'm actually burning time that I don't even know if I have. I'm avoiding doing I'm avoiding taking accountability and being more responsible for the things that I could be accountable and taking responsibility for. Like the moment that I stopped smoking, I started writing differently. Like I was like, you know what? I have this time throughout my day that I can dedicate this time as my tithe, my hourly tithe for the week, for the day, per week, for God. I could do this every day. I could do this 5 times a week. I could do this 5 times a week from this hour to this hour every fucking day for God, for life, for society, for the future. I could train my nieces and nephews, and over time, as I get better at it, and as I'm able to reach more people, I can train other children and other, like, all kids all over, in different parts from 4 to 5. I could do that every day. I wouldn't mind doing that 4 times a day, 4 times a week, 5 times a week. I wouldn't mind that. Oh, look, I also have this other hour. I could do this for adolescents and teens. I can dedicate this hour. And I could do both of these things for the youth. I could do it for free. Like, this could be my philanthropic, way of giving back to society. Since I'm not working for any man, I can work for the man in the right way. And whatever finances come my way, I'm going to invest it all. And I'm going to continue to invest and invest and invest and invest. And I'm going to invest in my intellectual development. And I'm going to invest in my physical development. And I'm going to invest in my emotional development. And I'm going to continue to invest in my spiritual development. And in my financial development. And in my vision, in my purpose, in my goals, and in my imagination, my creativity, and my capacity to provide value. I'm going to continue to refine the mindset and the skill sets so that when opportunities present themselves, I'm ready to take them. Since I'm not working for any man and I'm working for the man, I can be creative with my time. Because 14 years ago, I made the decision to do what I did. And because now I'm making the plans to do the things that I plan to do. So that I'm never thinking like I don't got nothing to do. Even when I'm sleeping in, or I'm meditating, or I'm traveling, I know that even in traveling, I'm doing my work. I went to Florida just this past week. That's why I wasn't doing any live. I went to Florida this past week. And the reason I was going initially was to go watch one of my boys fight. Sadly his fight got canceled. But before I knew this flight got canceled, I was like, you know what? My boy's flight is this day. I had a veteran buddy of mine, his brother passed away, right? Addiction, so on and so forth. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go chill with my boy for 2 days. I'm gonna go visit my boy for 2 days. They're both already in Florida. They're only 2.5 hours from each other. I'll fly down to see my veteran buddy, and from there I'll take a rental or something up to my other boy, fucking 2.5 hours away, and then from his place in Orlando, I'll just get a flight and I'll fly from Orlando back up. And that's exactly what I did. I bought a flight to Palm Beach. From Palm Beach, I took a Uber all the way up to Orlando. Stayed in Orlando till Saturday. Sunday, I flew out of Orlando back up here. 2 birds, 1 stone type shit. Because that's how I move. I multitask, too many things. But it was beautiful. I was able to vibe with one individual that, I truly believe needed that. And I know, and, I've been building, planting the seed over the last, few years since we got out. And I hope, all you can do is hope, right? You can only hope for the best. And so I hope for the best. He wants to have children, but you know, too many things, you know, especially now what happened with family. But I hope that, you know, the value that I brought and the interactions that we had in those 2 days, you know, can be of value. Boom, went up to my boy, wasn't able to see his fight. His roommate is also a fighter, and that same Saturday we go to the gym. You know what I'm saying? They spar every Saturdays. I couldn't spar, had a light headache. I ain't wanna push it and shit. Though I really wanted to spar, right? I don't like feeling like a bitch, but I was like, you know what? Just vibe, bro. Just vibe. Just, you know, observe and do your thing. As we're about to leave, his roommate, you know, he shows up late, does the professional sparring session, and he starts saying like, I'm not fighting no more. Da 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 da. I'm like, I questioned him. I was like, what you mean you're not fighting? You're a fucking warrior, bro. You can't do that. If you do that, then you're gonna have to deal with the other repercussions of not doing what you love to do because of how you feel. Don't ever make decisions based on feelings. Make them based on logic and reason, bro. So you know that I said a few more things and I shut up, right? I just gave enough and just said my piece. You know what I'm saying? Gave the insight. Then that same evening, because I was leaving the next day, then that same evening, when we got back to the place, I seen him, and before I caught him heading out the door, and boom, I was like, say something. I closed my eyes and I was like, yo, should I say something? My subconscious was like, yeah, say something. Boom, we sparked up a conversation for like 5 or so minutes. Made a few suggestions, recommendations, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, if you got to take a break for a year and come back 10 times strong, do that. But don't like, you know, add one man from one brother to another, from one man to another man. Don't not do what you love to do because of how you feel. Because if you stop doing what you love to do because of how you feel in the moment, that's gonna fuck up other things. That's just gonna throw other things out of whack. It's gonna throw up your relationship with your family, with potential, you know, women and wives, with potential children, with other potential business opportunities and ventures that you may want to do, and with other greater things that God's got for you. And I told him, like, yo, when I fight, I don't fight for myself. I don't like fighting. A lot of the times I feel like a fucking cat. Like growing up, I used to feel like a coward. I only do fighting to overcome that coward within me. And so when I get in the ring now, it's not like I'm getting in the ring for myself. I'm getting in the ring to display, you know, my excellence and my service for the Most High. And my appreciation for the Most High for giving me this warrior spirit and the opportunity to develop it, and to through it be of service to myself and to others in the process. Because all glory belongs to it. The all. Right? And so I aim to do all things with thanksgiving. Even when I fuck up, I'm like, fuck, I fucked up. But you know what? God, thank you. Because at least I have the fucking free will to fuck up, right? At least you gave me that free will. You know, you gave all life that free will to do as they wish. That's the best way to obtain some guidance, shot glass, man. Going within, just meditating, you know, writing, reading, exercising. But hey, it's not easy being a man. We have a lot of, you know, sociological constructs, you know, telling us that we should be ashamed. Fuck them. The Most High God made us for a reason, man. So that we can continue to make things, to mold reality to our benefit for its glory. But I was gonna talk about a few more other things, but I think this, this has been a pretty dense talk today as it is, man. I don't know, man, Mr. Shot Glass. Unless you got something to offer, something that you would want some further expansion on. What was the word? I think we might call it for the evening. If that's you that's still in there, or my cousin, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming through, for your feedback, for your insight, for the comments. That's what life's for, man. So I said in one of my posts yesterday, we're here to serve, man. That's truly what we're here to do, man. Even as a king, you're you're a servant. You know what I'm saying? You're a servant to your kingdom. You're not above or beneath it. You're right there, man. True leaders lead from the front, not from the back. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to be in the back, pushing the ones forward. But hey, true king is a humble servant, man. But other than that, yo, you have a great motherfucking evening, alright? Go check out the channel, Super Conscious Sosa on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Go check out the other account, SCL Master Builder, I think, _333. You know what I'm saying? Got a few other accounts, but those two, this one and the other one, are the main ones I use. Other than that, ain't nothing but love. Y'all have a great one, alright?